Okay, so here's the second video on these conversions. We'll do the Imperial conversions, and you can see I made a list of some of the examples of the types of units that we talk about. So, and you'll recognize most of them. With length, we got our inches, feet, yard, miles. There's other ones, and you'll hear some people that are used to dealing with horses, for instance, will even talk about hands. It's an old school system of measurement, but as in the last video I said, the U.S. still uses this for almost everything. Mass, this is where we talk pounds, and a lot of us still use this stuff because, like, for instance, we'll still talk how tall we are in feet and inches or how heavy we are in pounds. Some people will talk in kilograms, but not a whole bunch of people. And I don't know why that stays the way it is, but it is. Capacity, of course, this is like our baking stuff, right? Cups, tablespoons, teaspoons. We do have lots of recipes that'll be in milliliters and grams and stuff like that, especially if you're baking with weights. But you'll also see what I like to call the grandma measurements, the quarts and pints, because of canning things, right? Your grandma and grandpa's, even your grandpa's uncles will talk about how many quarts of oil are in their truck or in an oil change. So we still kind of use this terminology, even though we use it interchangeably. We don't even think about it. So I'm going to show you how you actually convert this mathematically. And again, like I said, I think of this more like chemistry using the stoichiometry. You're going to use this skill when you get into chemistry more so with this, because again, we'll just go to our phones and pump this in and can do it. So I'm going to ask you on this assignment to show me your work rather than just going to your phone and pumping it in. So you'll see the work that goes into this one. It's a little bit more involved than the metric system. So the metric system, you just show me your decimal moves. This one here, there's going to be a little bit more math. So now, before I do that, you're going to have to go onto the classroom and you'll find this table. And it says it's a conversion table. Now there's one conversion that's missing here, and it's the 16 tablespoons is equal to 1 cup. It just should go with this Imperial stuff. Okay? Now I think of this as my map for everything. Okay? So you're going to find whatever unit you're given, and you're going to try and weasel or decide which way you'll go to get to the next unit. Okay, so you've got to have this sheet available to you at all times doing these conversions. You'll even see at the bottom there's the metric scale right there. Okay, and then at the top here we got the metric. If you were to do it using the stoichiometry method, you could do metric this way too. I just think it's a silly system to do that. And then on the third video, we'll use this metric versus Imperial one over here. Again, just it's pretty straightforward. So we're going to use this. I'm going to come back to this right away once we figure out this question. So our first example says yards to inches. So now I have to think about what it is. So watch closely. I'm going to set this up. So 14 yards, like so, times. Now I'm going to set it up as a ratio, and you're going to see this in stoichiometry. And I want to get rid of the unit of yards. So I put whatever unit I'm trying to get rid of in the bottom of the fraction. Now I'm going to quickly skip over here to that sheet. So I can see, where's yards? There's yards right there. And I can see that this table says yards to feet. Now, you could find tables that have yards to inches and stuff like that easily. This is just what I put together. So I can go from yards to feet real quick. So 1 yard is 3 feet. So I put in 1 yard, here, I'll do this in green. In 1 yard, there's 3 feet. Now, think of this as multiplying fractions. My yards cancel out. So now I'm in what unit? Obviously, feet. So that's not what we want to be in. We want to be in inches. So now, what unit do I want to get rid of? Feet. Now, most of us, without even looking at that sheet, know that in every foot, there's 12 inches. And again, you can see as we multiply fractions straight across that our feet units will cancel out with these feet units. And now, this is the important part. I am now left with inches, which is what we wanted. That's perfect. So now we just got to do the math. So I quickly go into my calculator and I say 14 times 3 times 12 equals 504 inches. Now, if there was some other numbers on the bottom, I'd say divided by whatever that worked out, because again, we're just multiplying fractions, but I can see it's just 1 times 1 is 1, so I don't have to change anything. So there is our measurement. So again, you see how it's a little bit more involved than just using the metric scale, because you have to actually think about, okay, what unit goes to a different unit and then a different unit. It's not just moving decimals here, because there's really no connection or logical connection, I'll say, between yards and inches. It's kind of a wild and crazy one. Okay, so I hope you see that the most important part is whatever unit you're trying to get rid of, for instance, in this one is yards, on your next fraction, that unit goes in the bottom. And then you just keep going like that until you eliminate all but the unit you want to be in. So you'll see it again in the very next example. This time we're going from ounces to pounds. So I'm going to go back to our conversion sheet to see if I can find a map to get 53.4 ounces. Again, I want to get rid of ounces. If I can go directly from ounces to pounds, this would be golden. So let's go and look at our conversion sheet. So ounces to pounds. Here, I'm going to erase a bunch of this stuff here. Ounces to pounds. Yeah, there's a direct conversion. And again, this is something that, this is a conversion you'll know eventually. So in 1 pound, there are 16 ounces. I cancel my ounces out because their ounce divided by an ounce is canceled. I am in my pounds now, so I don't have to do any more. So this is a fairly straightforward one. So I just go 53.4 times 1 equals 53.4 pounds divided by 16. So whatever that works out to will be my answer. And it looks like our final answer in the calculator works out to, I'll put it in blue up here, 3.34 pounds. So if you had 53.4 ounces of something, it would be 3.34 pounds. Okay? If you talk to your parents, you'd probably ask them, how heavy were you when you were born? They'd say 7 pounds, 6 ounces, 7 pounds, 12 ounces, 9 pounds, 4 ounces, things like that. So for every pound, you were 16 ounces. So you could figure out how heavy you were in ounces by taking the pounds and timesing by 16 ounces as well. It's just something you could do. Okay, let's do this last example. And I think you'll get the idea that it's pretty much the same. It's just a pattern and you just keep canceling things out until you get there. So we've got to get from pints all the way to gallons. All right, so over to the map here, and I'll erase this, and let's find pints. I got pints to quarts, and I got pints to cups. So I got to make a decision here which one I want to do, and I can see right here, quarts to gallons. So I think it makes more sense to go from pints to quarts, and then quarts to gallons. Now there's other ways to do it, but that's just the map that I'm taking. So it's kind of like a road map. So here we go. Let's jump back. And now I've got 23 pints. And there are 2 pints, it says, in 1 quart. So my pints cancel. And now I'm stuck in quarts. So I look back at that map and it said that there are 4 quarts. Quarts is what's really close to a liter in our world. And that's equal to 1 gallon. So again, quarts now cancels. And I can just multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. and I get 23 divided by 2 times 4 is 8 gallons. So our final answer, again, I'll put it in blue, works out to 2.88 gallons. So 23 pints. If you had 23 pints of canned vegetables or canned something on your shelf, that would be equivalent to 2.88 gallons. Again, this is more fun for people of an older generation when they're trying to conserve food, but you just gotta try to get it in your head as to all the math. So I hope you're getting the idea of the stoichiometry part, because this is exactly what you're going to use in chemistry when you get into grade 11 chemistry and grade 12 chemistry, balancing equations. So I hope it helps. This will be the next assignment. We'll go and do how we convert metric to imperial. You're going to find the next stuff is very similar to this. So if you understand this, then the next stuff will seem pretty easy to you.